We have Leanne Ashley with us here from Pioneers in Skirts. And I'm just going to jump right in and say, tell us the moment when you realized that you wanted to make a film.
Okay. So again, I'm Ashley and I'm the director of Pioneers in Skirts, and Leanne is the producer, and she and I are actually mother-daughter, daughter-mother. And we had made a short film about a women's group we're a part of called Business and Professional Women. And it was kind of like on that journey that I started to see what I was up against in my own career. But I didn't I guess I didn't take it as seriously. I thought, okay, I just have to work hard. I just have to stay focused, do this, do this. I can achieve my dreams because I dream big, that was my mentality. But then as I approached my career, I got out of grad school and I started to see how I was perceived as a filmmaker. So I'm the filmmaker in the family, but now Leanne is officially the filmmaker too in the family. But I was going into the film industry like, if I just make great work, that's going to shine. I was winning amazing awards. Directors Guild of America Award was one of them. But I just kept getting pats on the head, like, oh, that's really sweet. You're trying so hard, keep going, little one. While my male colleagues were just soaring past me. And what I did initially was internalize it and go, what am I doing wrong? We started making this film together very soon after I got out of film school, because I was seeing how I was being treated in my career. But the truth is I internalized it and I was wondering what I was doing wrong. So I'm a director. I've won amazing awards, yet I was still kind of just pat on the head, like, oh, that's so sweet that you're trying. And I was very frustrated. And I was like, okay, what am I doing? Am I not dressing the right way? Am I wearing too much makeup? Not enough? Is my voice too different? Okay, I don't talk like that. But I was just trying to figure out, what am I doing, right? And so I call mom and I tell her what's going on. And she says, Ashley, it sounds like you are going through something very similar that I went through when I started in my career, but it may not be as obvious. So let's also be clear. This isn't the first time I told her about it. We are very well connected, and she's heard my story for years. And she's just like, I am really sick of this. And I said, me too. And we both were like, what do we do? Because the fact that it's not as obvious, the sexism, the bias, these unfair perceptions, the fact that they're not as obvious and overt might even make them more damaging, because we aren't aware that that's kind of subtly what's there. And this was all something we had to learn. So we started making Pioneers in Skirts together. Really, we just grabbed a camera and started asking questions. We just started doing research. One of the biggest studies that I personally experienced, so it was kind of validating to know that other women had experienced this. There's an ambition study. Women start out in their careers with more ambition than their male counterparts, period. It only takes 2 years for that ambition to drop by 60%. And I bet you right now you're thinking of all the reasons why. You're going, oh, because of this, because of that. Blah, 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 blah. So were we. And I was going, is it because I'm not confident enough? Is it because I'm not working hard enough, right? No. It is because there is so much ingrained in our culture that is chipping away at women, that it only takes 2 years for their ambition in their hopes for their career to drop by 60%. It has nothing to do with the career choice, and it has nothing to do with if she decides to become a mom or not. It has everything to do with how our culture is perceiving her. This was huge for me. And so Leanne and I sent out on this odyssey to figure out, how do we A, bring awareness to this, and then B, how do we stop it? How do we change it? And that became Pioneers in Skirts. So it became so much bigger than me and so much bigger than our relationship, but it still has my story in there. And then we follow young girls on a robotics team to talk about what happens in those middle school age years. And then we talk to a young mom who finds out she's pregnant while also up for a raise and is afraid to tell her boss. So what's going on at that level? We talk about that whole spectrum. And personally, it was something I had to go through in order for me to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I see the light now.
Oh, it's just it's amazing to me, and I'm sure Leanne, for you as Ashley's mom, it must be really challenging also to just see that these issues that they haven't gone away, or that from I think you mentioned that in the film as well, something to the tune of that. What is that like for you to think about your own journey as a woman, but also as Ashley's mom?
Yeah, when she first told me, as I'm going to repeat a little bit of what she just said, but when she first told me, I I thought at first it was something I had done wrong. Maybe it was something she was doing wrong, and we went through all those little check marks of, maybe you're not, like Ashley talked about her voice. I said I had to lower my voice to get people to pay attention to me. In fact, to this day, I don't know if my voice is low because I was born that way or I trained myself to be this way because I worked in tech and I was often the only woman in the room. So, but when we started making the movie, when you make an impact documentary, it takes you a good 10 years to make that film. It took us 7 years to make this. And during
Wow.
this 7-year journey, we went from understanding the stats, the studies, the information, talking to experts as to what they felt was happening, what should be done about it. And then we also talked to people who had experiences to share with us, how they overcame, how they saw things and how they dealt with it. Ashley took that information that we learned during that 7-year journey that we took together. She took that information and applied it to herself. So when she was younger, she was fearless. She did everything. She tried everything. She just did everything. She could do anything. I knew that when she graduated from high school, she could do whatever she wanted to do in her life, and she actually chose to do whatever she wanted. So I was so proud of that. She took the path of what she wanted. But when I saw her world drop around her and her question herself, it shocked me to no end, because that's not what the person I used to think of her. Well, that after 7-year journey, she tried some of the tips and the strategies that the people we talked to told us about. And she came out of this whole journey of making the movie her old self again, right? She likes to say, I'm back again. Well, I saw that transition. So as a mom, that was very rewarding and made me incredibly happy to see the Ashley that I knew, the one that I raised. And I now realize it's not my fault. It's nothing I did. It's the culture around us that we call it chipping away. All of these little tiny things that happen during our everyday, pulls our ambition down, chips away at it. And then one day you wake up and your mom says, what the heck happened? So yeah, I'm excited over who she is today again.
Oh, that's so cool about living in
Mom.
alignment with your true self. How fun. That's great. What was it like working together as a mother-daughter team?
Oh, I love that you asked that because I was thinking about it this morning. We even just had a chat this morning. We both bring different elements to it. Like I think we've discovered, how to work together, obviously, but like what do I bring to the table and what does she bring to the table? And just this morning we had this in-depth conversation. Like she's very good at thinking really big picture, and I'm really good at, okay, what are the details of that picture? And then sometimes we switch, and so we've just found that we work really well, and I think that's why this film became so big, because we're constantly one-upping and being like, okay, how do we do that? Okay, let's make that bigger. Okay, because she thinks big, right? And I'm like, okay, then we got to create all this content. We got to interview. Okay, let's do it. So I think we were always one-upping each other. And then I joked that the hardest part is when you just want to relax and like eat pizza and watch TV together, and you can't do that because you got work to do. Wouldn't you agree, Mom?
We talk a lot. If we ever watch a TV show together, a commercial hits and we're like, okay, did you do this? No, why didn't you do that? Oh, that's going
Okay.
on.
Did you send that email?
My laptop and we'll start working. And one of us will say, the commercial's over. And then we go like, okay, let's watch this TV show.
I know we miss commercials, right? If we watch a Netflix show, we can't do that. I think we're just, I think it gradually made sense because mom has always been very supportive of me, like help me with anything. If I had an application, she would read through it. If I had a resume, she would, help me build that up and make it look better. And so it was very natural for me to go to mom and ask for help or ask for advice. And now we have to talk budget and we have to talk, so it kind of just, it gradually became what it is. And I think I'll keep her around.
How nice. How nice. Well, in thinking about the film, what was the most surprising thing about it?
I know for me, it was really interesting seeing how the world kind of evolved as we were making the film and kind of caught up with us. We started really back in 2012 asking these questions, and it was just as that book Lean In came out. And so the world was going, okay, is this just another lean in topic? And we're like, oh no, we actually go in this direction and we talk about that, So as cultural things happen, same with the Me Too movement, we kind of would gradually shift and go, okay, now you all understand what we're saying because this came out great. Okay, you're taking us a little more seriously. Because unfortunately, when we started out, people thought, everything was fine, or unfortunately, stop complaining, stop biting the hand that feeds you. Like that's kind of how I was treated in my career when we first started this. And luckily, the culture has caught up, I guess you could say. So that was the most interesting thing as we made it, is just seeing really, we've done all this research, we've done these interviews, and still people really didn't believe it was an issue, probably until the Me Too movement. So that was 2018. And keep in mind, we've been working on the film for 6 years. So finally people had caught up.
Wow. Wow. Well, and tell us about a time during the film. I would love to hear about a moment when you just were kind of in that place of, I can't believe that this is still happening. Maybe there was multiple times where that happened, but was there any one moment when you just thought, this is insane that we're still dealing with this?
Well, I love answering that as if it's today, because people ask what keeps you motivated. Well, it's running into people that are still hearing that same women just need to be more confident mentality. It's like, we are confident. We've just had so much put on our shoulders. We need help getting that off, And so I think it's every single turn. We got very good at explaining this to people who didn't believe it. And still to this day, we're confronted with a lot of people who still think we need to stop complaining about something like, hey, isn't there one woman in the whatever, isn't that good enough? It's like, no. So we've gotten really good at communicating this topic. I mean, one thing that has been really inspiring is how men are responding to the film. They are completely welcomed and are so excited that the film doesn't like yell at them and tell them it's all their fault, and then B, like, it gives them actionable next steps. And so most of the men that watch the film are like, what do I do? I had no idea this was so pervasive, and so that has been really, really inspiring. And we did notice that throughout the filmmaking process is sometimes our biggest supporters were men, because they're like, I have a daughter and I don't want her to go through this. What do I do?
And I think the biggest surprise that I had, I remember when we first released our movie trailer. We didn't even come out with the movie yet. We had to come out with an official trailer a year before we released the film, and we just released the film in 2020. So you understand, this is all new to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But when we first did that, we got a lot of people who came to us and said they cried as they watched our movie trailer. And what that told us, because you understand, we tried to make something that was positive. The whole movie is positive. It's fun, and you laugh during the movie, right? We throw in lots of reasons for you to laugh at how awful things are. And because we want this to be a positive, uplifting, yet informative and inspiring film. So, which is not an easy thing to make. And but we made this trailer to get people interested in wanting to see the movie. Um, the amount of people who came to us and said they cried was a lot, and we realized that the topic itself is so emotional for people. They don't even realize it until they start seeing it. And there's an element when they do see the movie. It's a 60-minute film. We hear it all the time how it touches somebody deeply. It's not one of those films where you watch and you leave upset, right? It's a movie you watch, and there's elements in there that hit you to the core, that make you go, okay, I am not alone. There's a lot of other people who are going through this, and we represent inside the film people who are doing something about it. So there's hope. There's hope for what you can do on your own, and there's hope for the fact that there's other people who see it and they're doing something about it. So that was a big surprise, is how emotional people got.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I hope that you both feel a huge reward from all the work that you've put in, because it's amazing how you're shifting societal perceptions through this film. What would you say that you want people to know most about it? If there's just one thing that you could say, what do you want them to know?
I'm looking down at you.
Yeah, I'm looking down at me. Because we're like, normally if we're sitting next to each other, and we're not, because I'm on the East Coast, she's on the West Coast. Yeah. I'd nudge her, or she'll nudge me, like, you go first.
It's you.
I think, well, the number one thing I would like people to know is it's ready now, right? You can go to our website to watch the movie and see all the different ways you can watch the film. And it depends on who you are and how you want to see it. If you want to host a screening, we have ways to host a screening for groups. We've been screening heavily in companies, in community organizations. We did start to screen at schools before the pandemic hit, and we hope to get back to that. We're ready. We're ready to do it all online. We have a way, we're starting to publish when people have public screenings and just saying, go sign up and watch it. But we also have a virtual cinema where individuals can just go up and click on that link and watch that. And that's what I'm here to talk about, is find your inner pioneer too. That's one of our field trips. That's one of the ways to watch the film. We actually, because of this whole sexism and bias stuff starts long before you get to high school. It starts when you're born, but it affects you in middle school heavily. So we created a middle school and up, and actually an age 9 and up program where we do these field trips, and anybody can be part of it. We have one that's coming up on October 11th for the International Day of the Girl. So that's a Sunday, and people can be part of that, and anybody can register around the world for that. So we're working with Cinema Learning Challenge. It's an organization that does these things. And Ashley and I, we pitch afterwards. I wouldn't call it pitch. We have a program afterwards. And we talk to these young minds and say, okay, you just saw the movie. Let's talk about the themes of the film, and let's talk about you and your ambition. And what does that mean for you? And what do you need to do to achieve your ambition? And if you don't have ambition for your long-term career, because at age of 9, who does, let's talk about what you want to achieve in your life. Maybe. Okay. But it's fun. It's fun. And we talk back and forth. It's very enlightening for the kids, and we really enjoy doing those. So it's Find Your Inner Pioneer for kids.
That's great. Well, how else can people, besides watching the film, besides what you just shared, what are other ways that we can support you?
Oh, support us?
Yes.
So, well, obviously we're all over social media. I mean, the biggest thing you can do is to jump in and help us make these screenings possible, because we encourage people to screen the film and then have a discussion afterwards. So whether that's on their couch at home, or it's with a community school, company specifically, like we need a lot more company sponsors to help us bring this film into communities. That's the number one way to support us, is to just really use the community you have to help us reach more people. It's Leanne and me, and we have a great team of volunteers, people who are helping us. But we need more help.
Mhm.
And then, I want to leave everyone with this, what can you do for the issues, for the situation that we're in? Realize that the number one person you can control is yourself, and we all know that. So what are you doing, good or bad, to help this situation? And forgive yourself. I think that was one of our biggest things to overcome, is how much of this is ingrained in us, and we have to forgive ourselves, acknowledge it, and move on and start making those changes. I mean, even just simply refusing to laugh off a situation where it's somebody's making fun of someone, or maybe perpetuating a stereotype. If you don't laugh it off, you are not giving it power. So, I mean, that's just simple things you can do. One thing that I had to also train myself to do is refer to a group of women as women and not girls. Look at those girls over there. Don't we all do it, So that's another thing I had to train myself. And now you'll hear me say, look at those women.
Nice. Nice. Well, it is amazing, all these little things, for sure, that, yeah, like maybe at first glance don't seem like a big deal. And you go, well, wait a second, that is a big deal. I mean, so much of the work that I do is around helping women speak up, especially looking back at when did you not speak up and wish that you had, or just taking that one moment where you've got that gut check and you want to say something, but you don't, or you do. Like, what is that, like that moment of truth where you're going to make that decision? Am I going to say something or not? And I think I just am really passionate about what you're both doing for the world. And I think it's amazing. Is there anything that I haven't asked that you would like to share with us?
Our website is pioneersandskirts.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Man, what were you going to say?
And what I'd like to do, if you can share with everybody our movie trailer in your group,
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah.
great. Because then you have a really good idea. But you've asked all the great questions, everything we would love you to ask. But definitely pioneersandskirts.com tells you everything that you need to know. And if you don't receive it there, email us. We write people back right away. So our email address is on the website. Yeah.
I know. I thought, oh, these fancy filmmakers, I don't know if they're going to respond to me, but you did. You both did right away. So
we got to spread the message. I'm like, you're doing something amazing. I have so many questions for you too, and I appreciate you opening up your community to us. Thank you.
Yeah, Karen, I have to say, we released the movie just before the pandemic hit, and this is an impact film where you're supposed to have it seen and then have productive and meaningful conversations that follow. How can we possibly do that during a pandemic? We have to do everything online. So Ashley and I have focused on, if somebody else has, a reason to talk to us and help us spread the word, we will say yes. We want that. Karen, what you're doing is that extra cherry on top. You're trying to change the world as well. And so we're your ally, we're your partner. And if there's anything we can do to help you, we want to be there for you.
Well,
so yeah, we definitely say yes.
Well, let's end. I didn't tell you about this, but let's end with a quick lightning round of questions, just for fun. So just on the first thing that comes to your mind, and then we can tag team however you want to do it. But tell us, we'll start with an easy one, your favorite travel destination.
Alaska.
Germany.
Ooh. How about what is on your nightstand right now?
I'm in the bedroom.
I live in a studio apartment. What'd you say?
My wallet.
Your wallet.
Because we have a big dog, and the big dog gets everything, so we put everything up high.
I live in a studio apartment, so my nightstand moves around, but I guess it has a fan on it right now because it's so hot in LA.
Okay.
And we can't have our windows open because of the fires.
Oh, that's right. Oh. How about where your first kiss was?
Mine was on stage.
What?
On
I
stage?
was, yeah, I was in the Glass Menagerie on stage. I was 16 or 15 years old, I think. Yeah.
Nice. How about you, Ashley?
I don't know. This is my mom here. It was on a date and it was watching a movie.
Nice.
That's what it was.
Fun. Okay. What is one thing that you never leave home without?
My mask.
That was my answer too, my mask.
I love it. Yeah, that's that's an unfortunate reality right now.
I don't mind it.
How about how about besides your mask, something that is in your purse at all times?
My phone.
Mm.
Lip gloss. Wallet. It's not
Actually,
exciting.
The very first thing I thought of was that little spray cleaner that I have so that I'm constantly keeping my hands clean.
Hand sanitizer.
You would have asked me a year ago, those answers would have never been my answers. But that's
Yeah, exactly. All right, complete this sentence. And Leanne, why don't we start with you? In high school, I was most likely to.
I actually was voted in high school to be most like the first student to have a dance club. Back then we had disco and I danced disco, and it's even in my yearbook, most likely to have a dance club.
Oh, fun. How about you, Ashley?
The very first thing that comes to mind is I was the most likely to get in trouble because of I tend to make comments about the situations I'm in, and I would get in trouble for them. But now it makes me a good filmmaker and writer, right, everybody?
Oh, there you go. And let's end with your favorite thing about each other.
My favorite, oh, I have so many.
Oh, good.
My favorite thing about Ashley is that she's so approachable and thoughtful and caring, and at the same time very, 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 very smart and organized. She's easy to work with, very easy to work with, but she's a good leader, very good leader, and she knows exactly what she wants, but she can communicate it to everybody on set so well. I'm so impressed by that. People follow her and people like working with her. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
nice.
probably have more.
Oh,
I'm sure you do.
I mean, I think I mentioned mine earlier. I mean, she's the one you talk to if you need guidance, if you need direction. You know, I'm like, I have an idea for something, but I just don't know what to do with it or something. It's like, you know, she's the one that is kind of the voice of reason. And so I like that. And you're the one that's more organized. You're much better.
Yeah, I'm really organized.
Good. I love it. Well, I'm just so happy to be able to do this and look forward to everybody watching the film and continuing to spread the movement. So thank you both for coming today and being part of this. It's really, really great to have you both.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having us.
All right.